Welcome to the Chad Prather Show. It is Monday. Welcome, everybody. That sucker is still playing, man. We got the music going and everything. We're rocking and rolling. What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are having a fantastic Monday morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Tragedy in Michigan. We will talk about that here in just a little while. It seems like the evil is getting more and more prevalent, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. We'll talk into some of that a little bit. I was just reading your Facebook comments on here. We'll go through some of these in a little bit because I asked you, what do you want to talk about on the show today? So many things to talk about, and that's always the case because we just get inundated and bombarded with crap nonstop. And I love what someone said. I would love to find this, and I will here in a little bit, about how we probably need to take a fast from the media and just kind of take a break from it all because it's just there's just so much stuff going on in the world. And I don't know. You want to be aware, you want to be informed of what's going on, but sometimes you just think the whole world's gone evil. Maybe you look out your window every now and then, maybe go outside, look at the sun, feel it on your skin, touch grass, do something like that. But I don't think the world's as bad as we want to make it. But man, if you read the headlines, it's evil everywhere. Anyway, I hope you guys, I'm just rambling on. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope that you are subscribed to the channels. You're in the chat. I'd like to give everybody a minute to jump in here with those dancing bananas. I guarantee you we're the only podcast. We're the only show on the planet that utilizes the dancing banana. We got so much to talk about. Did you guys see the clip? I'm going to show it to you later on of producer David getting bear maced in Portland, Oregon last night. Oh, yeah. It's out there, and we're going to bring it to you. And we're going to get a take from him about what's going on in Portland, Oregon, because pretty wild stuff to see. I'm actually here for it. I'm excited for it. I don't know, though. I just can't get over it. I get up early in the morning, and I try to start the day, as I tell you on Before the Noise, I try to start the day with some affirmations and some prayer and some scripture. But when you wake up to the headlines and hit you like another punch in the chest, and I'm reading your comments, and I'm seeing that everybody's feeling the same way. We had the church shooting yesterday up in Michigan. And when you think about a place which is a sanctuary, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what type of sanctuary it is. I see people put the dumbest crap online. Well, it was a Mormon church. I just stop. It was a place meant for prayer and worship, okay? It turns it into a crime scene. But we're sitting here, and you got to think, how are we supposed to keep going in a world like this? How do you stay strong even when a place that is a house of worship feels like it's under siege? And we're seeing it over and over again. We saw it in that Catholic church, that Catholic assembly a couple of weeks ago. And I just felt like that's when the Holy Spirit kind of whispers, and he reminds you that you don't face this world in your own strength. And I'm talking to people who are believers, I'm talking to people who are Christians. You don't have to face this world in your own strength. Our times are not our own. We're in somebody else's hand. God's word has always been an anchor for us. You read Psalm 119, it's a long psalm. But when it says that his word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. And the path today does seem dark. It seems very foggy. Feels full of confusion and fear. There's a lot of fear out there. But you got the light that still shines. I believe when you open this book right here, when you open your Bibles, and you're reminded that there is something bigger, something way bigger than the headlines, you got to be reminded of eternity. And you know what you do with fear? Because a lot of people have it. It's very simple. You pray. They want to ridicule you for thoughts and prayers. The book of Philippians tells us not to be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known to God. So we're praying today for these families in Michigan. And it seems like these stories keep piling up, one thing after another, right? Whether it's the ICE detention center in Dallas, the Charlie Kirk assassination, the Catholic Church, all these things. But at the end of it, there's grieving, broken hearts out there. And we got to pray for these people that are out there that want to commit violence, because we're in a spiritual battle. No doubt about it, evil is running rampant on a longer leash right now. But you got to pray for yourself, because your heart is carrying that heaviness too. And somehow in that mysterious way that only God can work, I believe his peace begins to guard your heart and your mind. Because if you didn't have that, you would live in absolute terror to ever leave the house. And I will and trust. You know what? Trust is a big word we don't talk about. That's a hard one. Proverbs 3 says to not lean on your own understanding. And right now, our understanding is screaming that nothing in this world makes sense. It's not fair. Why does God allow this? And I believe God says, trust. Trust me. Trust that I see the end from the beginning. Trust that even in tragedy, I'm weaving things together for good. You can't carry this weight alone either, folks. That's why I love this community that we have on this show. When you get in the chat, the book of Ecclesiastes says two are better than one. And I think about survivors sitting in that Michigan church today, those folks in that community clinging to one another. And I think that represents so much of what we're called to do as the family of God, or at least the community that we live in. We were never meant to walk alone. You were built for community. I know, because I read some of the comments here. People say they just want to, I saw several people say they just want to go get a house out in the middle of nowhere and just live there. And I understand that aspiration, because sometimes I just want to go off and be a hermit too, just live in a cave. But I think you got to find your people, and you got to let those people hold you up when you're too weak to stand by yourself, and you got to do the other for them. And then do this. And I'll preach to you a little bit longer, then we'll get into some headlines. Fix your eyes beyond this broken world. The Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians that our light and momentary troubles, they don't feel very light or momentary right now, but they're achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs all of those things. It doesn't feel light, it doesn't feel momentary, but compared to eternity it is. We lost a dear friend yesterday. The Texas music community, the national music community, lost a very dear friend yesterday. And we got that news yesterday afternoon, someone that's very much a part of our lives. And he chose a permanent solution for a temporary problem. And that's what a lot of people do right now, because the weight gets too heavy for them. And we're grieving today in our community over this loss, praying for that family. But, you know, when you can see beyond, and sometimes we get so blinded by our circumstances, you can't see eternity anymore. But I think that today we got to set our eyes on eternity, because when you see how big that is, you can breathe again. That's why Isaiah 41 says, don't fear, I'm with you. God is present in the pews of that Michigan church, even in the aftermath of the violence. He's present in the tears and the silence and the grief and the prayers. He's with us too. I believe he's right here with us. That's my mission these days. Like it or lump it. I've done a lot of things, man, in this world. I've screamed and yelled at the headlines, but right now I'm choosing gratitude. And I'm choosing gratitude even when it feels unnatural, because 1 Thessalonians says give thanks in all circumstances, doesn't it? That doesn't mean you give thanks for evil. It means you give thanks for the God who never abandons you even in the middle of the evil. You put on the armor of God, Ephesians 6, and you stand. Even when the news makes you want to crumble, you stand. Not because you're strong, but because his strength is perfect in your weakness. And at the end of it all, you keep moving forward. That's why Hebrews says run the race with endurance, fixing your eyes on Jesus. And maybe that's the point, not to make sense of every tragedy, not to fix every broken thing, but to keep your eyes locked on Jesus while you run. So in the wake of something that's as senseless and tragic as a church shooting, you ask yourself, how can I stay faithful? Well, you hold on to the word, you pray without ceasing, you trust God when it makes no sense, you lean on your people, you fix your eyes on eternity, and you remember his presence. You choose gratitude, you stand firm, you let his strength cover your weakness, and you keep running towards the finish line with Jesus in view. How's that for a summary? Because I think the world might be shaken, and it will continue to shake. The Bible actually promises you everything that can be shaken will be shaken, but our foundation is not. And the only moment that we are promised in this world is right now and not the next one. But I'll take hope in the fact that even if now is my last one, I get to live a whole lot of nows in the presence of my Lord in eternity. So that's where we are. I want you to do me a huge, massive favor, and I want you to visit my friends at Birch Gold. How do you do that? I want you to text my name, C-H-A-D, I spell it Chad, to 989898. And they want to send you a free, no obligation information kit on how you can roll some retirement over into a tax-sheltered IRA backed by gold. Gold has gone through the roof. You need to be a part of that. It's not done climbing. And they have now through, I believe it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the month, right? They have that up to $10,000 rebate if you're a first-time gold buyer. You can talk to them, but they'll send you that no obligation info kit on how you can roll your savings, your old 401k into that tax sheltered IRA backed by physical gold. They have A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're the folks that we trust, and they're good friends of the program. So do me that favor. Text Chad to 989898. As Party Foul Steve says in the chat, we got to keep the lights on around here. This thing's kind of become a labor of love, hasn't it? We're just in here running our mouth. All right. Boy, howdy. Before I have the altar call, let me go ahead and bring Party Foul Steve onto the show. What's up, buddy?
Good morning. Good morning. It's you might ask why I'm wearing a sweatshirt today or a sweat jacket. Well, it's like 30 degrees where I'm at
Well, what I want to ask you is why you're wearing my sweatshirt.
because it somehow got left at my house. So I knew you wasn't going to wear it, so I put it on.
Yeah, that's what happens, Steve. When I leave things around, you confiscate it.
Dude, I had to rip the neck out though because it's so like tight. And I
You
have a big,
realize
my neck has a lot of girth.
you realize that Kendall Bailey made that as a gift specifically for me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought
Yeah.
they gave it to you at that thing, and I walked away with and I didn't have one, so I just took yours.
Yeah, you took mine. Kendall Bailey actually had those made for the people on her team who kill it. So, way to go, Steve. Way to go. Good job, buddy. You guys wonder why we call him Party Foul Steve.
Yeah.
Stuff just like this.
But hey, it's a pretty nice sweatshirt though. It feels good.
I don't want to hear about it.
It's cozy.
I don't want to hear about it. I'm putting Dancing Bananas in the chat right now. And I want you guys to blow up the chat. You know, it'd be cool as if Rumble put us in the editor's picks. That would be cool. That would be really cool. YouTube has grown, man. It's like we went because of the COVID and the vaccine and all the nonsense, all the stuff that we said that was actually correct, that was accurate, that was true. I got banished on YouTube and nothing for 4 years. 4 years. And also I blame Blaze Network because Blaze is where I think brands go to die.
Oh my gosh, you said that out loud.
I've said it out loud a lot of times. Well, I mean, you look at it. I mean, I don't think they know what they're doing when they're loading stuff onto social media. So they violated basically every rule that YouTube ever had. You know, different producers and stuff were doing that. And I mean, listen, God bless them. I love them, but it was a mess. Yeah, that's why there's a reason why I went independent a couple of years ago, buddy.
Yeah, that's it took all your financial availability out there that you had on YouTube. It took it away from you for the last 5 years.
5 years. It was a lost cause. It was a lost cause. Yeah. And then, I say those things. I mean, listen, I hug those guys' necks when I see them. I, obviously love the folks over at the Blaze, but there's some things they do that sucks. And I went independent. I didn't renew a contract. So anyway, what is, we got sad news yesterday, and I really am.
Yeah, man. Let me tell y'all, if you're struggling, there's places to call. Yeah. And
there's people
checking out ain't the way out.
Yeah, that was sad, and I'm still getting calls about it this morning. But our community, it's a loss for everybody. Especially the family, but also the music community, and it's just a bad deal. So anyway, Dana White, he was at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, by the way. Dana White, see if my thing will work, comes out against canceling people over repulsive Charlie Kirk comments. By the way, we can do the top news, top stories. Throw that little graphic up there. There it is. David worked so hard to put all that together, and I tend to forget it. I tend to forget it then. But anyway, Dana White comes out against canceling people over repulsive Charlie Kirk comments. I think you're a disgusting human, but, you get the right to free speech is basically what he's saying. Play the clip.
Probably the most important speech to protect is hate speech.
You're not a fan of cancel culture?
No, I hate it. On both sides. It's like all the stuff that's going on with Charlie right now. These people are going out and saying stuff, and you're seeing people getting fired or kicked out of school.
You don't think they should be fired?
I think you're a disgusting human being if you're celebrating the death of another human being. But people make mistakes, and people are going to do dumb things. I don't like trying to destroy people's lives over doing something dumb.
Yeah, and
He must be about to have something really dumb about himself come out that we don't know about. He doesn't want canceled because I say turnabout is fair play. I'm not for cancel culture either. I might boycott something for a week every now and then, but as far as like trying to cancel something, I'm not going to do it. But I say you ask for it.
Here's the deal. There's no such thing as hate speech. There's free speech. There's free speech, and there's critical thinking. And people who can't think critically and weed through the crap, then they call that hate speech because they can't handle ideas that are different from their own. Now, that being said, I think there's two different things here. I think you have cancel culture and you have this so-called free speech issue. Those are two different things because just because you get canceled doesn't mean it was a violation of your free speech. People get boycotted, they get canceled, they get consequences because they say some dumb crap. And so sometimes when you say dumb crap, there needs to be consequences for the dumb crap you say. So I don't think you can equate just consequences as being cancel culture. Like if you're a teacher and you're in there and you're celebrating in front of your kids that you're supposed to be educating about the death of Charlie Kirk, and you are basically brainwashing them with an ideology that you're not supposed to carry into that neutral space, then there should be consequences for what you're doing. And if that means you losing your job, I'm all for that. Now, I'll remind everybody that Dana White also came out and didn't want his fighters talking about Jesus Christ when they won. So he's kind of a hypocrite in regards to that. He was the one who said, we don't want all this, talking about Jesus stuff on the microphone.
Agreed. That's he's a hypocrite. But how many parents out there send their kids to school and they don't know what their teachers are teaching them anyway?
Well,
they
that's
have no
one of the
idea
things.
who their teacher is. They don't know anything. I grew up in a small town, blessed to live in a small town, in a small community where, of course, my mom was a school teacher, but everyone knew everyone. Everyone knew what teachers were teaching, and we didn't have that garbage in the classrooms back then.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a world where the teacher could whip your ass.
Yeah, me too. Every one of my teachers whipped mine.
I mean, I never
Guaranteed.
did. But our principal kept a paddle on the wall. And my earpiece went out. People were asking about the headphones. Hate wearing headphones because I got to pull one of them off my ear. Feel a little claustrophobic in those things. My earpiece messed up, man.
You're afraid somebody's going to walk in your front door and you're not going to hear them.
Cheap Chinese crap. Well, I got something that'll bark back at them if they come in. No, here's the thing on all of that stuff. Yeah, and I agree with you, Steve. I think that's one of the good things that came out of COVID is pulling kids out. I hated that we put them on a screen on a Zoom call, but, buddy, it exposed what was being taught in the classrooms to a lot of parents. They had their eyes opened up. It was a bad thing that turned into a good result from all of that stuff. Anyway, I'd love to hear what. No, Red Dirt Rip, we're down to 2 candles. Normally I have 6 back there. Not 3.
I got a couple up going. I lit mine this morning.
I like to move things around to see if people are paying attention. Yeah, that's what I do. Elon Musk, Erica Kirk, she tweeted yesterday, go to church. And Elon Musk, it's interesting. Elon Musk, as far as I know, he doesn't believe in God. But he shared that post, which is interesting. And he's done a few things here recently in the wake of Charlie's death and the memorial.
Maybe he's like, people out there that they're searching. They're
Well, I
find the
think
truth.
I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on. That's for sure. Let's talk about Michigan a little bit. So this is a wild story. I mean, we hear these things and we're like, what next? Well, I mean, I don't know how many different ways to tell you guys. It's always going to be another next. That's the world we're living in. And I see the gun debate. I'm like, there's not a single gun law that could be passed in Michigan, of all places, that would have legislated of this to avoid this. So you were telling me yesterday, this guy's a Marine or was a Marine?
Yep, Marine.
Yeah.
Better not. I think Iraq or better.
Yeah, Iraq veteran. And so he drove his truck into this Latter-day Saints church in Grand Blanc, Michigan, killing, I think the number is up to 4 or 5 now. Yeah. And there's still some people missing.
Do we have I have not seen a clear motive for anything yet. Is this somebody that just
I'll tell you
lost
what,
their marbles?
John Willis that owns Parlor, he made the comment that the guy was demanding people immediately asking how quickly they would say that they believed in Jesus Christ and Joseph Smith. And if that's true, that's absolutely horrendous. But he went in there and was just targeting people. The place burned down, and of course, everybody's going to see those flags on the truck and say, "Well, there must be somebody on the right."
Yeah,
which is stupid logic.
It doesn't matter right or left. It's dead wrong.
Yeah, but he. Yeah, I do. I actually do want to show Mark Driscoll's tweet here. Let's pull that up. And Pastor Mark, a lot of people follow. He says there will be 0 Mormons in heaven. This is a demonic cult. A literal demon is on top of every Mormon building. Might be. Well, I mean, it's
still September 14th.
Well, it was, and so then he goes off talking about there was a lot of debate going back and forth yesterday about. Listen, the bottom line is a tragic loss of life. I'm not Mormon. I certainly don't. I see Mormonism as a pseudo-Christian cult. But again, that has nothing to do with a tragic shooting like this. Yeah. It just is what it is.
You're gonna have Baptists and Catholics burn in hell. So,
if your only deal is and again, I mean, it's of course Mark says yesterday said the murder of innocent people is evil, no matter if they're Jewish, Muslim, Mormon, or Christian. Agree with that. I've had the Mormon debate many, many times, but again, that's not about this. What bothers me. What bothers me is the people who come out and make that about your religious belief. That literally doesn't have any bearing on anything, on a tragedy like this. And I mean, innocent people lost their life in a place of worship, a place that should be safe. And I'm telling you, that guy wasn't out there discussing Brigham Young doctrine or the Book of Mormon or the Pearl of Great Price. He went in there with a gun and he was targeting people. And so I was trying to look this up here, though. At least 4 people were killed. 8 were wounded. Of the deaths, 2 occurred by gunfire. 2 more found in the burned remains of the church because he doused it with gasoline before the police could kill him. And then one of the wounded is in critical condition, while the rest are reported to be in stable condition. What were you going to say?
I was just wondering how many in that church were licensed gun carriers that could have. It's sad that we have to have that, but we have classes right here in Conroe every week that give classes specifically for environments like in church and stuff like that for concealed carry permit holders and stuff to go to those classes to help prevent or stop maybe not prevent, but stop something when something like this happens.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, it's Michigan. This is Gretchen Whitmer's Michigan.
Oh, gotcha.
And you're not dealing with the same kind of gun laws in a place like that. So, a lot of people, again, the Second Amendment exists for a reason. And your right to carry. I wouldn't, I'm telling you this. There's a cool little Bible case that looks like this right here, Steve.
Uh-huh.
And a Glock 19 fits in it nicely.
Nice. Well, at church yesterday morning, everyone in my service was carrying.
Yeah.
So
everybody was carrying.
100% of the
100% of the You're sitting on the couch watching.
I was. I sure was. I was.
But this had to be a rapid response, right? Michigan police officers are being praised for rushing to the Mormon church, shooting, and saving hundreds of lives. I mean, that's incredible. I know a lot of bigger congregations like this. A lot of times you'll have cops that are out on the street. Like around here, they got cops out on the street, doing traffic and stuff. But I was thinking to myself, if the guy got, as this says, neutralized that quick, 32 seconds, neutralizing the suspect in 8 minutes, that's phenomenal. Because I was thinking as soon as I heard that story, if it was the cops, if it had been a parishioner or something like that, like what happened a few years ago at White Settlement, Texas, where that guy came in and that dude just dropped him right there by the pew.
Yeah.
That was one thing, but the fact that they did this so quick, so they're hailing them obviously as heroes, and God bless men and women in law enforcement out there. But again, you got to carry that 8 minutes right there. I mean, seconds count, right? I mean, if you have a parishioner in there that's carrying, maybe this gets taken care of a whole lot faster. I just know I ain't going nowhere that I can't carry. I just put it that way.
Yeah, and there's
Plain and
people out
simple.
there, they don't want to carry, they don't want to have to carry. I understand that, but it's always good to have a good guy in the room with a way to defend people.
Well,
So
let me remind you, in most scenarios, I'm the one that's up on the stage.
yeah,
Whether, I mean, I'm on a stage several times a week, and sometimes it's in a dark room where I can't see who's back there. So I welcome people. I'll never forget when we were doing that show in Arlington, Texas, Grand Prairie, Texas, and there was going to be like 4,000 people in there. And Wayne Kyle, who's Chris Kyle's father, he texted me. He said, "Hey, we going through metal detectors?" And I said, "Come around to the back of the building, Wayne," because I knew what he was going to ask. He said, "I'm not coming in there." And I said, "Well, come around the back of the building." And I said, "If anybody I won't carrying is you, so come on." Anyway, it's a crazy world we're living in, man, and stay strapped. Trump has says he's been briefed on the horrendous shooting that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. He says be leading the federal investigation. I mean, I don't know. I don't
this
know.
is it's not a political thing. This is pure
Religious hate.
religious hate.
Yeah.
That's
And that's the thing. I mean, you start looking at motives. Not everything is an assassination. Not everything is a politically driven thing. Even though what we do is we get on social media and everybody wants to say, "Oh, they were MAGA, or they were leftists, or they were trans, or some kind of crazy stuff." We immediately run to the labels. It might just be a mentally ill dude that's tormented by demons and has a problem with religion, and maybe he was hurt by the church or somebody in the church, and he goes in there and he wants to exact his form of vengeance and justice, and ultimately ends up knowing that it's going to be a suicide by cop or something like that.
yeah, and it may not have been targeting that church per se. That was just the one that was closest to where he was at.
Well, and again, to the demonic world out there, the mentally ill world, they're going to lump everybody in as people of faith. They're going to say, well, everybody's a Christian. They're not looking at Baptist, Presbyterian. They're not looking at Pentecostal, Assemblies of God, Church of God. They're not looking at all those different things. And they're not going to separate out different folks that we would, whether they're Adventists or Seventh-day Adventists or Latter-day Saints or Jehovah's Witnesses. They just look at that as a place of worship, and they're going to go and do it. And so Trump lumps all of that in there because he literally just said to the UN that we got to stop this persecution, to his phrase, the most persecuted people out there, and that's Christians.
Yes.
And so, this is another aspect of that where this kind of thing is happening. Carolyn Levitt, she said this was, well, let's hear her say it. Play the clip.
From what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note. All of those questions have yet to be answered, but certainly will be answered by the FBI. From what I understand, based on my conversation.
All the Mormon people I've ever known were nice people.
They got to be.
But just, in general, regardless of where they're going after they die.
They got to be. But you know what? And here's the thing. And John Willis, again, who has Parler. I hear from John every now and then. He's Mormon. And he made a comment. He said, he said it's just disgusting, all the people that are coming out there and their first thought is, well, they were Mormons. That's no reason to get murdered in your place of worship. I mean, that's as bad as these people coming out and saying these horrible things about Charlie Kirk, in my opinion. And he said, you got a grandfather who's shielding children and gets shot and killed. And when he stands in front of Jesus, and I tend to agree with him, I don't think that, he's going to get, they're not going to run down the checklist of I don't want to talk about the theology of it all. It's just a tragic situation. And if you don't think that you're not lumped in with everybody that calls themselves under the label or banner of Christian, then, they're targeting all of us. All of us. And you know what? When people come together, there is a spirit of revival that's happening in this country. We're seeing that firsthand. And I'm telling you, whether it's the lies or the speculations or the conspiracy theories, all the kind of things that are going out there, the back and forth with the politics and the labeling and the categorizing and all of that crap, man, it is the spirit that is sent, and the violence, I'll throw that in to the extreme, is all an attempt by Satan himself to stop any form of unity and revival to come out there.
Yeah, because somebody just said it in the chat. Do you think this will increase because of how many people are returning to the church and turning towards Christ? And I say absolutely, 100%. As especially when you come out openly with your faith, you tend to get persecuted,
Yeah.
and it's just going to happen. The bolder we get, the bolder they're going to get. Those
Yeah.
against us. So
Yeah. And KB, you said it right. The enemy wants to keep us from going to worship God. I agree. And as I said in my opening monologue, I mean, we need community. We need community of faith. We need people that are like-minded. We need to fellowship. And we need to have people that are, kindred hearts, kindred spirits. We need that. We were created for community. And I think that one of the biggest things that Satan wants to do, evil loves to separate people. I mean, the whole thing is about separation. And when you can, what was the biggest thing that happened in the Garden of Eden when they violated God's one command? What happened? They were separated from the presence of God. They were separated from their home, the garden. They were cast out. And there was a separation between spiritual life and physical life. And ultimately, they began to die from that very moment, which is a separation of your spirit. And so, the enemy's plan is always to separate. If he can divide, he can conquer. If he can divide, he can conquer. What was the curse that God placed on Eve? He said, because of this, he said, your desire shall be for the man. And in that phrase there in the Hebrew, when he cursed her, when he talks about you're going to have pain in childbirth and all of these things, but when he's talking about your desire is going to be for the man, what he's saying is you're going to always be pursuing the man's position, his position of leadership, his position of being the head in the home, his position of, and you see that played out all over the place because that division has been created, and now everything is a suspicion. And when that happens, you start thinking everybody's out to get me, so I'm just going to go isolate myself and do my own thing and be a hermit, and I don't want to trust anybody anymore. But that is exactly the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. Now more than ever, we need community.
yeah, and that happens within the families of a competition when a marriage becomes a competition with each other.
Well, this is the one thing that I really love about what producer David at David Medina PDX, what he's doing, what's happening up there in Portland, where he is, with the troops going into Chicago, going into Portland, cleaning the place up. A lot of people are calling this a fascist tactic. I like what's happening here. So you know what, David, if you're presentable, show yourself. Can you come on the show? Can you do that, David? If everybody wants David, will you clap? Will you put some dancing
Is
pickle
David
in there?
even listening to the show today?
I don't know if he is. He's always pooping or something.
He's a
man.
2%. I call him a 2%er now after what happened this weekend.
I got to talk to him about this. President Trump. Yeah, I want you to come.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds weird with you in my ear, but yeah.
Yeah, get on here, David.
All right, let's do it.
There it is. There's
There he
David.
is.
What's up, you handsome fool?
Oh man, how are you guys doing, man?
Dude, all right. What are you? We're good, and we're glad you're okay because we'll get to the. How's your eye, first of all? Can
My
you see?
eyes, it's blurry out of this one, and this one I can see good, but this one's kind of blurry still. And I still feel burn like all in here.
So your sinuses, I bet. So I'm taking it from your experience that it's a bad idea to go out and get maced with bear spray.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever, a lot of people have experienced that, and many people I talk to, or many people that were commenting on my posts, are like, "Yeah, I've experienced it, but I never direct shot in the face. Even if you get bear mace just a little bit from the side, it still sucks." But I was directly shot in the face. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. And the craziest thing was, it was literally a friendly. It was Katie Davis Court from the Post Millennial, a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Her security guy who, I just want to say this. When you work security, I worked security for 7 years. You're supposed to de-escalate and protect. De-escalate, protect people's safety. And this guy was like, he's all about it, man. He's all about it. He's out there like shoving people, all that kind of stuff. And he's doing, he was trying to protect Katie, but he just
was
like
talking back to the riders
bear
too,
maced
though.
me. Like he just like bear maced me with me right there. And I was getting in between Katie and Antifa. And he just like, he didn't need to do that. I felt like, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
So you didn't get caught in the effervescence of the spray. He sprayed you.
Oh, it was a direct shot. And I'm telling you, it was I thought I was going to die. My face was on fire, brother. It was like I have never experienced anything like that before. It was like a sunburn times 1,000, and you couldn't wipe your eyes because then it would get in your eye.
Yeah.
And so you had to just kind of like, and so anyways, I went to bed like 3 hours ago, and because I was up late trying to watch my stuff and getting the show ready and getting your before the noise, because I really believe in what you're doing there. And yeah, man, crazy.
I was up at 4:00 this morning and I was watching. I saw your clips. The first thing that popped on my phone was a notification. It was your clip of you, and we'll show a little bit of that in a little while, of you trying to remedy that stuff. And my first thought was, he better have my thumbnail ready for before the noise. He better not cop out on me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love
Yeah,
it.
it was rough, man. But I appreciate you guys. You guys made my morning before the show, so I appreciate you. And,
So-
I shouldn't have laughed so hard, but it was so funny.
It was funny.
I'm gonna laugh again when we play it.
For several reasons, it was funny, and we'll talk about that in a little while.
awesome. Well,
So-
all right, you guys have a good one.
So no, don't you go anywhere. Don't you
Well,
go
okay.
anywhere yet. I got to ask you a question. What do you think about them sending the troops into Portland?
Well,
Is it good or bad?
the thing is, you have a lot of influencers around here, liberal influencers and including the governor of Oregon and Portland and the mayor of Portland, who are trying to say, there's nothing going on here. He doesn't need to send in the troops, and they'll show beautiful parts of the city to, you guys have seen those videos where it's like, oh, Ron Wyden, the corrupt guy whose kids drove their assistant to suicide.
Yeah.
Ron Wyden, he's sharing videos of like, oh, this is war ravaged Portland. Look at this. And they show all the beautiful parts. I mean, that's like on 9/11, 2001, showing beautiful parts of America and saying America's not under attack. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like these people are so dishonest. So the federal buildings in Oregon, in Portland and Eugene have been under attack for the last few months. Eugene, Oregon, just about a couple hours south of Portland. And then Portland, Oregon, the ICE building has been under attack. ICE officers have been attacked. You can go look up the videos. It's not that hard to figure out. I mean, there are literally countless videos of the ICE building and federal agents being attacked. So the local, I don't know, people don't know how it works here, but the local law enforcement, it's not on the Portland police. The Portland police officers, well, I don't like their police chief. He's very woke, but the Portland police officers are amazing people. And they, a lot of them don't agree. A lot of them follow me. A lot of them don't agree with how the city handles things, but the city is totally held hostage to this like woke faction of the Democrat Party. And they kowtow to this woke left Antifa. They just let these rioters have their way. I sat in city council meetings, Chad, where the city councilors and the mayor were more concerned. They were grilling the police chief. They were more concerned about the police's response to the attacks than the actual attacks themselves.
Jeez.
So absolutely, this needs to happen because something needs to be done. I'm all for it. I imagine it's going to get crazy. It's going to spark probably riots and stuff. But our leaders here are so feckless and so weak, and they don't care about law enforcement. They don't care about ICE. They vilify the men and women of ICE and the Portland police. They vilify their own police, and so they don't care about law enforcement. They just care about politics. And so, yes, I absolutely agree with this.
Well, you're right there in the middle of it, dude, and you're on the front lines. And get off of here, because I know you're an introvert and you don't like coming on the show. And I'm just glad you're okay. Now we're going to go make fun of you without you on there. Okay.
All right, love you all.
I love you, buddy.
Love you. I think up there in Portland, all of those ICE trucks need to be mounted with water cannons.
I'm all
And-
for it.
Yeah, I mean all of those. So you just boom, boom, blast them.
People are
Stay
like,
out of
well,
the
that's just mean, and just stay out of the damn street.
Yep.
Like,
And
like, quit acting a fool,
if you put your hand on the front of an ICE vehicle, arrest them.
arrest them. That should be
That's
right.
Put your hands
Yeah.
on government property or something.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to that video. All right. So David posted this. He said, here we go. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has officially ordered the deployment of National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon for 60 days. I think they'll get a lot done. Local Democrat leaders and their media puppets demonize law enforcement and constantly tie their hands. And can I ask you guys, all of you, if you're following David, you need to be following David. Share this stuff. Put it on some of your socials. I did yesterday, and I think this is the kind of stuff that we need to really put some stuff out there to make people aware of what's going on in these cities. And I know, and I have to repent. I want to publicly repent because oftentimes I'm the guy who says, why do you live in these places? Get the hell out. Like, don't live in Seattle. Don't live in Portland. Don't live in parts of California. But you know what? There are folks out there. There's folks like David who really are pushing and believing in the redemption of their communities. And I got to say, tip of the cap to all of them for hanging in there. It's their home. And there's good people in these states. I can't stress that enough. I mean, there's good people. I was in Oregon just back in February. Great people in these states. And there's no reason to give it over to these morons that are just abject idiots. So you see the deal from the secretary, this, memorandum for Adjutant General Oregon National Guard, Adjutant General Oregon National Guard through the governor of Oregon. Get after it. So Secretary of War. 200 members of the Oregon National Guard. And this is Tina Kotek. She's the governor, this fella. Spoke with the president, said there's no problem. Look at the guy, this dude looks like Keith Olbermann. Got together with Ellen DeGeneres, and they had a hermaphroditic kid. Play what she says.
As one executive to the other, I spoke with the president. I asked him not to send troops. I tried to understand his reasoning, and I told him we are taking care of it, that I have full faith and confidence in local law enforcement and the folks here today who do not need federal troops. And I said, we disagree. And he said, well, let's keep talking.
Well, guess what? You're going to get them, whether you want them or not. And here's the thing, folks. I want to encourage all of you guys to please pray for these National Guard members of ICE, law enforcement, because just as we saw, that we didn't want anybody getting shot. The other day, the detainees got shot. He wasn't targeting the detainees. He was targeting the ICE agents. If you don't think that there's not going to be some escalated, elevated pursuits of violence against these men and women in uniform, because, again, you've dehumanized them. You've called them fascists and Nazis and terrorists and, argued about them wearing their masks in order to protect their identity. It's going to get bad. So I want to encourage you guys to pray. Definitely pray for these folks. So they did an arrest. They made a targeted arrest outside of the Portland ICE building. And play this for a little bit.
Start forming a wedge here. Form a wedge. Form a wedge. You fucking cowards!
Now, I can go out on a limb here and just say that this type of these types of consequences from this types of action is not happening normally. Contrary to what the governor just said, pretty sure they're not getting these kind of consequences.
Yeah, if that guy was that close to me, I'd be going to jail. If he got up in my face like that,
You
'cause
probably
I'm gonna
wouldn't be
have
in
to,
the-
like, you're within like 6 inches of his face. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to jail.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to handle all that stuff.
No,
Because I've seen you in action.
Yeah.
And it's neither graceful.
Nothing graceful.
No, there's nothing graceful. I've seen you get kicked out of a few places. And I've also seen you beat up our friend because you thought you were fighting the person that was fighting him, and instead you broke Vince's rib.
Yeah, it's the brown guy,
Bakersfield, California, bar fight breaks out, and Steve's punching one of our own guys. Play this clip right here. I mean, they're hauling them out.
Yeah, every one of these facilities should be manned with water cannons.
Yeah.
And say it's a no loitering zone for the, zone them as, out so far from them, and you get within these things, you're getting hosed down.
Yeah. Lock them up. All right. Can they hear you? Are you muted? David's in Mayor. Let's get him back on.
All right. So I wanted to let you all know how disgusting the city is towards federal law enforcement real quick. So you guys see these boarded up windows. This is the ICE building, and this is all they boarded up all the windows, and because of the constant attacks to protect the building, protect their officers. The Portland mayor issued a land use violation to evict ICE out of this building. And one of the reasons they used to evict them was the boarding up of the windows, which is against the code. And so that I guess, what are you going to do? Kick out all the other businesses in Portland that have stuff boarded up?
So they're going after them for a code violation.
They're going after them, yes, for boarding up the windows. So, again, it proves to you that they are more concerned about demonizing, vilifying these guys and hurting them than actually dealing with the attacks and the lawlessness. It's so insane. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Well, see, that makes me have an opposite opinion of you, Chad, because you were talking about, the people that live in these cities and stay in these cities and stuff. I say, nope, get out of those big cities. And if you don't want government help, we're going to put a fence around you, and you just stay in your little fence zone, and you do what you want to do. Be a sanctuary.
Well, you saw what happened with the Chaz and the Chomp zones. I mean, those were failed experiments that happened within, people died.
100%.
That thing. And so, you know what? You want your anarchy? Have it. I mean, let's just take a look at this audience of protesters here that we've got. I mean, you just look at these punks. Roll that screen back there just a little bit, David, if you can. And let's just get a little picture of these little weenies that came out of the basement. I mean, look at these beta, soy, limp-wristed, pink hair, nose ring wearing, almond milk drinking, fingers in the air. I'd break that finger off, and I ain't sanctified enough. I'd break that finger off and shove it up your ass. Look at these pansies.
And let's find out who's paying them, because I'm sure some are there on their own because they're just joining the mob mentality and stuff like that. But there's got to be some of these that are being paid by big money, big donations.
Well, and then you have to ask yourself, what are you protesting? We're trying to clean up your city. We're trying to eradicate crime. We're trying to get rid of terroristic, actions that are happening on the part of Antifa. I mean, these they're all out, mom and dad.
They get paid just to sow discourse. It doesn't matter what it's for, what the reason is.
Yeah.
If it wasn't this, it would be something else to go throw a fit over in the streets.
Yeah. Well, homeboy here shows up with his MAGA hat on, his Patriot sweatshirt, and he jumps out there. He's got his American flag. He ain't scared of nothing. They don't know what to do when a black dude shows up. So he's out there marching right there in the middle of them.
That's which one? The one right there on the left. That's who maced.
The Asian
David.
guy right there.
Yeah.
This guy. He's out there pushing people around. That's who maced David.
Yep.
I'm coming. You know what? How much are flights to Portland? I'm gonna come up there and let him do some security on me, because I ain't sanctified like David is. David's a sweetheart. He's a big dude, but David handles his own. But he loves people.
So who is this guy, David? That you're talking to there, with the MAGA hat on.
Yeah, it's not his. This isn't David's video. Yeah, this is another one. But anyway, he's out there going to do his thing. There's some good people up there, man. I'm coming. I'm coming to Portland. And then there was a Portland man who actually praised Trump for doing what he's doing. Play the clip.
I am so happy that Trump is sending the National Guard in here. I live in this building. We both live in this building.
Is that a
We've
dance
been
of
asking
banana?
for help for
I think that's a dance of banana.
We're finally going to get it.
When do you think they're coming?
When? Not soon enough, man. Not soon enough.
What do you want to see happen?
I want him to come in and mess them up, and just
sounded like Sarah
these people.
Gonzalez.
It does, doesn't it? Sounds
Whatever
like Sarah.
force they need. Whatever force they need. Gals like her and the other people that live in the building. Watch out. They're the ones. They're the ones that I'm concerned about. So they're afraid to come out of the building. So I've been coming out every night, every day to help them, to make sure that they're okay. She won't even leave the building with them.
Are you afraid of the protesters?
Very. It's an extreme mob mentality to me, which means nothing is as it should be.
So are you excited that Trump's deploying the troops here?
Very excited. I cannot wait.
I can't wait for them to leave.
Forever and ever. Amen.
And if
Yeah, it did sound like Sarah Gonzalez a little bit.
A little bit.
But I just think these nerds need a new hobby. They just really do. I mean,
Well, that's good to see some Trump supporters not getting beat up in the streets, at least.
yeah.
It's
These
broad
people
daylight.
they need to go fishing. Do they not understand there's some good fishing in Oregon? Try pickleball or something. Speed dating. Anything. I mean, I'd much rather get rejected online from a pretty girl than get pepper sprayed by a cop on horseback. I mean, protesting don't make you edgy. And sometimes when it's on your same side, let's watch David get maced. Play it.
Hold on. Put the sticks on. Wait, hold up. Why can't you see your kids anymore? Hey, why can't you see your kids anymore? Hey, why can't you see your kids?
Hey, what channel you guys on this
Oh,
video?
wow, you're not responding to that, huh?
Did you wear a mask during COVID?
Okay, let's go.
No,
So why are you wearing it now?
because I want to. The fuck?
Oh, really? Okay.
All right, he looked up at him just for a second.
Excuse me.
It's all right. Hey, chill.
Oh, he got shoved into David.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he turned around and maced you, huh? And he turned around.
It's all right. Hey, chill.
Oh, he shoulder checked that dude, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Excuse me.
It's all right. Hey, chill.
Why me?
And then,
Why
and then
me?
David got popped. Why me?
Why me? Why me? That's David.
And then I'd like to slap the out of Mr. Miyagi there. And then David's got the milk. Lindsay's trying to. No, so this girl her name is Lindsay, and she is doing the Good Samaritan thing, and she is handsy with David. Let me just say, I'm surprised that David, you made it home without Lindsay in the back of the car.
That's why I called him the 2%er earlier, because they 2% in milk his face.
I mean, this girl. How many? I would love to know how many cartons. You went through 3 or 4 cartons of milk on this deal, pouring it on your face, trying to do it. And David's trying to die, but he's still being the nicest person. She's like, I don't do social media. But David, this girl was ready for action. And that was the funniest thing to me. And if you watch this clip at the end, like, she is not ready to let David go at all. Look at David. Brother, I appreciate you going through this pain.
Dude.
I'm so thankful you were willing to go through this pain for our entertainment, brother. Wow. And look at David. And fast forward a little bit. Let's get to
Now that I
Lindsay.
have you, right? What do you do for work? Oh, you're awesome. You should come work with me.
His
should come work with
eyeball
me.
is literally falling out of the socket.
I was a bartender and I was an EMT in this town for a long time, but now I just bartend and manage restaurants and do all
She's
that
on a
You have
date,
a great
bro.
presence about you. Bystander here at the church, outside the Church of Tortoise. She almost tackled me when I tried to go in.
Jesus, I didn't.
Let me tell you about Jesus. Jesus is my savior.
All right, here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look at that. He's in full witness mode.
David said, let me tell you about Jesus. Fast forward, David. This girl had found her a man. It won't let you do it? Dadgummit.
By all means.
Fast forward.
Oh, you don't? Okay, sorry. Well, my bad. I don't want to. Just want to document it, in case I
You guys got to go watch.
die from my face falling.
I think this girl, that's her MO, David. That's how she picks up dudes. Waits for him. She carries around a bag of milk and waits for somebody to get pepper sprayed.
It's that broken bird syndrome thing where they go looking for somebody that's broken, and she found you, David.
Yeah.
She's
Bro,
trying to fix you.
Bro, she was hammered. She was hammered drunk, and she tried to say she wanted to drive me home or move my truck, and I was like,
yeah,
no.
she wanted to drive you home and the whole thing. Look at you, dude. Look at you. That looks like that looks like a weird porno. I'm just.
I was in pain, man.
Got milk?
That was not good. That was not fun, man. My whole face felt like I was.
I know it wasn't, bro. I'm glad you're okay.
Right.
I know it hurts. And so anyway, that's
glad I could bring you guys comic relief this morning. It's great.
Ooh, you did. All right, real quick. Let's go to besides the look at her, boy. Look at the
Man,
there it was.
People in the chat talking about David, how cute he is.
Look at her. She's.
I'm gonna get your information. We're gonna take care of it. We're gonna get you a new outfit. Get you some new golf balls.
We're good.
Oh my gosh.
David, you're a good dude, man. Oh my gosh. And she was ready to go home with you, bro.
Yes, David is single.
Besides the besides the dude that maced David, let's get to the other pinheads of the day. All right, let's do that. Oh boy, that's funny stuff. We're gonna do We're going to have Pinheads of the Year. We're going to do an award show at the end of the year. We're going to do Pinheads of the Year and see if we can get some other folks involved with that, folks you know and love. Zohran Mamdani, which, by the way, Eric Adams has dropped out of the race in New York for mayor, but he admits that his free bus program is going to cost the taxpayer $700 million per year. Of course it is.
Early people who ask me questions about, is it possible to make buses fast and free? I say the cost would be about $600-700 million, which is less than Andrew Cuomo gave to Elon Musk one year in tax breaks of $959 million. Showing people the context that we're in and building a coalition where they may not see themselves in me, perhaps, but they may see themselves in the best and the brightest that I'll hire to surround me in City Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, free bus rides at taxpayers' cost are given a billionaire tax break that gives thousands and thousands of people jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, the money's got to come from somewhere.
They want free stuff. Nothing's free.
Yeah, you can't get the blood out of a turnip. So but anyway, I'm reading through some of y'all's comments. Big Country, Michael Big Country King, talk about social media. Does it help our cause? No, not really. Not with the way we use it. TJ Kaloff, my buddy, personal accountability and decency, the lost arts. Love you too, buddy. We're not meant to be bombed so much by media. That's Mary Clapp. Should take a fast from all media. That's the one I was referencing earlier. And everybody's sick of social media, man. But you're not going to get off of it. Nobody's going to get off of it.
It's a double-edged sword.
It really is.
I think we need it. I think Charlie Kirk needed it for his platform, but it's also the platform that led to helped lead to his demise.
Well, say it. I mean, it did. It got him killed, and and that's unfortunate because we have a world of people out there who can't differentiate with critical thinking. This is why for years I keep talking about critical thinking. If you can't differentiate, the real world and reality. But again, we created this philosophy of postmodernism, and we've been in it now for 20 years of people thinking that their feelings are more important than the facts and truth. And that's just we've said that to the point of redundancy, and it's just become white noise. But people, their feelings don't get to determine reality. So anyway, look how quick an hour goes by. Party Foul Steve.
Man, already?
Yeah. If you had a vehicle, you could bring me lunch, but whatever. I got more stuff to say today. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Follow Party Foul Steve at Party Foul Steve. Any final words, my brother?
Yeah, just follow me on all the socials. You always say it for me. That's all I ever have to say. I want everybody out there to have a great week. It's only Monday, so
tell people to join your Make Wellness team.
Oh yeah, join my Make Wellness team. Look at this. I got all kinds of stuff. So, all the supplements, all the hydrate, all the juices. I don't even know where my display is. But it's back there.
I'm always looking for people that want to do business, man.
Dude, September was a fabulous growth month for me as far as adding motivated team members that want to get out and do the same thing and not only take the product and use the product, but hey, I want to get in on this and have jumped in on it. And
it is
like a rocket ship. They took off faster than me.
Yeah, people want to complain. Say, "Oh, multi-level." Every job's multi-level. Okay, if you got a boss or you are the boss, that's a multi-level. And let me people are so stupid. This is direct sales. It's called direct sales, folks.
Yeah, and I just put my
any job in this world. If somebody said there's only one thing you could ever do, what would it be? It would be sales. And let me tell you why. Because you get to determine your own future. So that's the deal. And this is the best opportunity, the best products, the best people, best process in the country. Megan Duthu, I texted her yesterday. I said, do you realize she doesn't even promote it? Meggie Moo, she doesn't even promote it, and she still makes money every month from it because I set her up to win. And she becomes the deal every month. She doesn't even push or promote it.
Well, they pay out daily, so I try not to look at it for like a whole week or two. Because you think about a $2 or $3 here, $4 or $5 here. I mean, for me, and all of a sudden, the next thing I open up, I can make my car payment this month.
Look at you.
Boom.
And then you got some folks out there that are absolutely killing it. Anyway, we got off track. Oh, you know what we got to do? Actually, I will tell you guys about AlliedOilfield.com. We're not going to do the thing. I'll talk about them tomorrow. But Party Foul Steve, I'll talk to you here in a little bit. I got caught up in the conversation, and I totally missed it. So let me give you my final word. Oh man. What do we want to talk about? Well, I'll tell you, just based on what we've been talking about, And I'm so glad you guys are a part of the show. Thank you for blowing up the chat today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of the Rumble family as well as the YouTube viewership. And make sure you're leaving us a rating and review. Get my book, Born for Meaning. I would appreciate that. People are really being impacted by that book in a powerful way. And not only join me for Before the Noise in the morning, but also go and rate and review it where podcasts are offered. And do that for this show as well. And by the way, those of you who are on Spotify and try to listen to this show, well, you're not listening to it because we had a glitch. The last few episodes have not been uploaded. But that's on Spotify, not on us. But after saying all of that, let me say there comes a time in every man's life when you realize that the world is not as safe as you once thought it was. And that's the thing we're dealing with. Evil is real and danger is real. You look at what happened in Michigan, you look at Charlie's situation, all the different things that are coming our way, and they're not done. If you're not prepared to meet that evil that's in our world, then you're gambling with the lives of the people who depend on you the most. And I'm talking to you men. I'm talking about you got to protect your role before God is to protect your wife, your kids, your family, and your friends, your community. You got to stay strapped. And that's not about paranoia. It's about responsibility. It's about understanding that there are wolves out there pretending otherwise does not make them go away. You can stick your head in the sand. And I say this, carrying, and I'll just use that phrase for the YouTube audience so they don't ban us. Carrying protection is not about loving violence. It's about loving peace so much that you're willing to defend it. And I want you to think about something. Every time you walk into a restaurant, a grocery store, a church, a gas station, you don't get to choose who else is in that room. You don't get to choose their intentions. But you do get to choose whether you walk in prepared or unprepared. The first step of courage is simply being ready. Your family does not need you to be fearless. Let me say that again. Your family does not need you to be fearless. They need you to be prepared. They need to know that if the unthinkable happens, you're not going to freeze, you're not going to cower, you're not going to rely on somebody else to save them. They need to know that you have already made the decision to stand in the gap. That's what men do. And I know everybody wants to say, yeah, but. I don't need your yeah, buts. That's what real men do. And I'm not saying people don't freeze, they don't panic, I understand those kind of things happen. But let me say this, protection is not just about the tool you carry, it's about the mindset you cultivate. It's a mindset of situational awareness, a mindset of discipline, a mindset that says, I will not be a victim. It's so help me if I can do anything within my power. I won't be a victim, and I will not let my loved ones become a headline. Because here's the truth. When seconds matter, help is always going to be minutes away. That's what we established a little while ago. You know, it's 8 minutes for those cops to deal with that. That's quick, but not as quick as it would have been if somebody had been in that room and able to handle it. But in those seconds, you are the first responder. You're the one who stands between the chaos and the safety. You can't outsource that. You can't schedule it. You can't pass the responsibility off to somebody else because that responsibility is yours. So carry. And I want you to do it with confidence. I want you to train with discipline. I want you to walk with humility. But I don't want you to ever apologize for being ready. Stay strapped. When I say that, it's not just about carrying steel. It's about carrying resolve. It's about carrying the weight of responsibility and refusing to set that down. Your family's worth it. Your life is worth it. Your freedom is worth it. So be prepared, stay sharp, and stay strapped. Stay strapped. All right. Y'all pray for David's eyeballs. And because he's not getting new ones, and no more bear mace. Make sure you leave us a rating and a review, and thank you for sharing, subscribing to the channels, doing all the bookwork, the little homework I give you guys to do. I'll be with you tomorrow morning before the noise at 8/7 Central, and leave that comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what we talked about today and some upcoming episodes. But check out Before the Noise. We're working through the book of John. John chapter 10 is where we are. And we'll continue on tomorrow morning. And you can get that now where podcasts are offered. And you can also go read some of the articles that I'm writing, as well as get caught up on the other episodes at beforethenoise.com. Get that book right there, Born for Meaning. Born for Meaning. I promise you the cover, there it is. It's a whole lot more clear when you pop it up like that. And know that I love you guys very much. I could not be here without you, so I'm thankful for this audience. You're family to me. And I'm praying for you, and I want you to pray for me. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you later on. Until then, bye.